In this lecture, we will print a pattern on the screen using the loop structure. Okay, like you can see in the question here, write a program in assembly language to print following pattern using the loop structure. So this is the pattern we are going to make. Okay, and right, this over here is basically a directive. You can say the block comments or multi-line comments. Okay, it's for that purpose. So before going towards the code, you have to examine this pattern carefully. Okay, like you can see here in my row number 1, these are my rows like this and vertically columns. Okay, so in my row number 1, you can see I have only a single column. In row number 2, we have 2 columns. Then in row number 3, we have 3 columns, and like this, right? So it tells us one thing about the loop, and that the number of columns, you can see the number of columns must be equal to that particular row number, right? Like in row number 4, I must have 4 columns. If there is any row number 6, suppose user wants to print 6 rows, so in row number 6 I must have 6 columns, right? So this is what we have learned from this pattern. Second thing is that this is just an example of pattern. It doesn't mean that you only have to print these many rows, like 5 rows or 6 rows. Suppose user wants to enter, we will get from the user how much lines he wants for the pattern, right? Suppose user enters 100, right? So this is not the correct way. We have to you can say we have to build that pattern to 100 rows, right? So for that purpose, what we have to do, and that our row number, right, our row number must be equal to the number of rows that the user enters. Like here we will ask the user to enter number of lines for the pattern. If he enters 5, then this will continue, this should continue till 5 rows, and like that. Okay, so we have gotten 2 things, that we need one loop to control the number of rows and another loop to control the number of columns, right? We will basically use 2 registers for this, and we are going to solve this using the while loop structure. Okay, so follow with me. Firstly, what we are doing in our data part, we are declaring string variable enter number of lines that user wants, and this asterisk symbol because we are going to print this as it is on the screen. And then I'm taking one variable like num1. Okay, we know how we have to display this on the screen by using the write string and retain. So after getting the value from the user, I'm moving it to num1, this variable, storing that row number that the user has entered into the num1 variable. Okay, now next, actually our code begins from here, from the loop. ECX is basically my outer loop value. Okay, and I am initializing it with 1. Why 1? Because I know that in the very first attempt I need only a single row and a single column. Later on, when we will go to the second row or third row, we will increment ECX, right? Okay, but in the first attempt I need my outer loop to be only to run only once. So I'm moving 1 in ECX, and this is controlling my number of rows. And next, what I'm doing, this is the syntax of writing the, you can say, while structure. It must begin with dot while. Okay, and then this is my register, my outer loop register, that is ECX less than equals to num1. Num1 is the number that the user enters, number of lines for the pattern, right? So it says, as I have told earlier, this line states, or this code says, that number of columns, or you can say the number of rows, basically the number of rows must be equal to the num1 variable, like the number of lines that the user enters, they definitely get stored in num1. So the outer loop must run that many number of times. We have seen this already. And then this is controlling my outer loop, right? And inside my outer loop, I'm starting another loop for controlling number of columns. and for columns I'm using EBX register. This is not a for loop, as we have discussed once that we can use only an ECX register, no other register can work, right? We can use EBX. You can also use ECX also if you don't want so many registers, but this is a simpler approach, I guess. So again, in my column register, the register that I'm using for columns, I'm moving one inside it. Why I'm moving one inside it? You can see from the pattern again that for one row I need only one column. For second row I need two columns, right? So when my ECX is only one, that is my row is only one, then my column should also be only single, right? So I'm moving one in both of them. As our, you can say, as our row number increase, our EBX will also increase according to that particular row number, okay? And then again I am checking the inner loop, like EBX must be less than equals to my outer loop. What is this? It is saying that my number of columns must be less than or equal to the row number. Exactly, we cannot have any column greater than the row number. If I am on the second row, then I cannot reach to the fifth column, right? On second row I must have only two columns. So this is controlling that thing, okay? And then I'm moving the offset of message 2. Message 2 is what? Printing asterisk on the screen by these two statements. So it means till now we have printed one asterisk on the screen, and suppose here user has entered in EX, we have gotten 3. We want 3 rows to be printed, or 3 lines for the pattern, okay? So after printing one asterisk, what I am doing, I am again incrementing EBX. I am incrementing the number of columns, okay? After incrementing, I will not execute this statement because it is for ending the while loop. Dot end W means ending the inner while loop, but I am not supposed to end because here is the statement. I have to increment my EBX again. Right now my EBX is 1, right? When I increment EBX, it becomes 2, right? And it will again go inside the loop. Is 2 less than equals to ECX? My number of columns are now 2, and is 2 less than equal to the number of rows? No, condition is false. My ECX is 1, and after incrementing EBX it has become 2, and this is false, right? So we'll come out of the loop in this statement, and the next statement printing, you can say moving the text on the next line because you have to go on the next line, right? And then I'm incrementing the outer loop, which means then after displaying one asterisk I have to increment my row. Definitely I have to go on the next row now. Like here you can see, after printing my first asterisk I have to use call CLF to go on the next line, and then I have to print 2 asterisks, means that my EBX now must be 2 and my row number should also be 2, right? So here you can see we were on this statement incrementing ECX. Now ECX becomes what? ECX becomes 2 after incrementing, of course. So we have to see, is 2 less than equals to 3? The user has supposed entered 3, so yes, condition is true. We are again moving 1 in EBX. EBX again becomes 1. Is 1 less than equals to 2? Condition is true. We will print asterisk on the screen, and now we increment EBX. Now EBX becomes what? It was previously 1, now EBX becomes 2, like number of columns becomes 2. Is 2 less than equals to the number of rows? It is true because ECX was what? It is true or 2 already. Condition is true. We will print asterisk on the screen. It means we have printed 2 asterisks on the second row, and now our this inner loop must stop. We cannot print a third asterisk on the second row, right? So we are incrementing EBX. EBX becomes 3. Now 3 is 3 less than equals to 2. Condition is false. Will come out of the loop, and now ECX becomes 3, right? After incrementing ECX, it will go into this outer loop. Is 3 less than equals to 3? Yes, condition is definitely true. It is still 3 is equals to 3, right? EBX again becomes 1, okay? And now see, is 1 less than equals to 3? Yes, true. We will print asterisk. Now EBX becomes 2 after incrementing. So is EBX is now 2. So is 2 less than equals to 3? Yes, true. We will print asterisk on the screen. Now EBX becomes 3. Now is 3 less than equals to 3? Yes, we will print again an asterisk. Now we have printed 3 asterisks on row number 3. Now we cannot print any more, right? So after incrementing EBX, it becomes 4. Is 4 less than equals to 3? No, we will come out of the loop. Now we increment E6. Now E6 becomes 4. So now is 4 less than equals to 3? No, condition is false. We will come out of this, and just next line at this call radiant is just to pause the screen so that we can see our result on the console. So I hope that you have gotten this concept that we are dealing with 2 registers, one for you can say columns, one for rows, because we have examined about this pattern that in which row we need how many columns, in this row we need how many columns, right? We have examined it, and then according to that we used our registers, 2 registers, and we made sure that you can say the number of columns did not get greater than the number of rows, right? So we have performed this using the while loop structure. So let's run this now to see. Suppose I enter 10. So this is, you can see we have gotten 10 rows, and you can see in row number 3 we have 3 columns. So number 4 we have 4 columns, right? It is not increment the row, the number of columns are not getting greater than number of rows, and this is what we were supposed to be asked in this question. So I hope you have gotten it. That's it for today. Thank you.